Do you have what it takes to defeat Mark the Beast Labette and his fellow trivia geniuses? Find out tonight on Masterminds. And here's your host, Brooke Burns.
Hello and welcome to Masterminds, a game of trivia, smarts, and strategy. Let's meet our challengers. He's a Halloween fanatic who loves soccer and backpacking with his wife. Please welcome Billy. She's a former attorney that sings in multiple choirs. Give it up for Tony. And he's a paralegal whose sidekick is his corgi, Bucky. From Henderson, Nevada, please welcome to the show, Chris. Welcome, you guys. Are you ready to play?
Yeah, absolutely.
And also face our masterminds? Let's hope so. They're right over here. He's a Yale grad who has tutored kids on every continent. It's Ryan Chafee. She's won big money on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, 500 questions, and went head-to-head with the Beast on The Chase. It's Muffy Morocco. Speaking of Beastie, if you want to know how he got his nickname, just ask the hundreds of contestants he's destroyed on The Chase. It's my buddy, my friend, Beastie. Hello, Masterminds. Beastie, are you ready to take on these challengers?
It's not contestants who call me the Beast, it's restaurateurs.
Fair, I believe. Here's how we play. I'll ask you a series of trivia questions over 3 rounds of escalating difficulty. At the end of the game, the highest scoring challenger will face the highest scoring mastermind in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. If a challenger wins, they will come back to compete again. And if a challenger wins 2 times, then they will be crowned a mastermind and potentially take the place of one of our masterminds on this stage. Ryan, you want to see that happen, right?
No, and it's good that Billy's into Halloween and scary experiences because you're about to have one.
I welcome it.
Well said. In round 1, there are 7 subjects, each with a corresponding question. All challengers and masterminds will play. Correct answers are worth 100 points. Good luck. And the first subject is geography. Because Tennessee paid to construct the highway running through it, what national park has no entrance fee? Great Smoky Mountains, Acadia, or Shenandoah? The correct answer is Great Smoky Mountains. Challengers, how'd we do? All right, Chris, for 100 points. Well done. Masterminds, what did you say? Well done. 100 points across the board.
The road pre-existed the park, so once it was designated a park, Tennessee was like, please don't start charging people because it was a major thoroughfare.
Thank you, Tennessee, and thank you, Muffy. The next subject is celebrities. In 2022, Brad Pitt said that he suffers from a condition called prosopagnosia, which is the inability to recognize what? Smells, faces, or colors? Thank you. The correct answer is faces. How'd we do, challengers? All right, 100 points across the board. Well done. Masterminds, 100 points across the board for you as well. You knew this one, Beastie? Don't you wish we all had this excuse at one point or another in our lives when you're in that moment, like...
But there's the opposite, super face recognisers, and several police forces in Europe are experimenting with that. They find people who've got that ability, and rather than set up controversial surveillance cameras, they just have these men and women just circulating around going, I recognise that.
Whoa. I feel like you could do that. You could probably take that
I
job.
haven't got that skill.
No? Well, you memorize other things. The next subject is history. A volcanic eruption 2,000 years ago in Alaska may have contributed to the decline of what? The Aztec Empire, Viking settlements, or Roman Republic? Everyone's locked. The correct answer is the Roman Republic. All right, challengers, how about this one? Oh, no points on this one. Okay, let's see about our masterminds. How'd we do? 100 points across the board.
I went purely on the time. The Roman Republic sort of pretty much ended after the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC. Vikings were much later, as were the Aztecs.
Thank you. The next subject is typing. Who created the fonts Geneva, Chicago, and London, among others? Andy Warhol, Annie Leibovitz, or Steve Jobs? And the correct answer is Steve Jobs. Challengers. Oh, all right, well done. Chris, 100 points for you. Tony and Billy are shaking their head, having a little struggle over there. Masterminds, how about you? Oh, well done, Ryan. 100 points for you. Educate us.
I read the Walter Isaacson book about Steve Jobs, and it talks about when he was at Reed College, he was really into a calligraphy class, so he's a real font wonk.
Interesting. One more thing that he's good at.
Yeah, what can't he do?
Thank you, Ryan. The next subject is authors. Because he was nearly blind, James Joyce wrote much of Finnegan's Wake using what unusual implements? Crayon and cardboard, luminescent paint, or wax and stylus? Everyone's locked. The correct answer is crayon and cardboard. Did we know this one, challengers?
Yeah.
Oh man, okay, no points across the board. Masterminds, look at these smiles. Easy, Muffy. No? Okay. A dazed and confused smile. Ryan, once again, with 100 points.
Yeah, James Joyce wore this like white coat while he was writing, and it reflected the light and illuminated the crayon, and so he could see what he was writing.
Thank you for that. The next subject is time. According to scientific estimates, how many hours were in an Earth day after the moon first formed? 6, 13, or 20? All right, the correct answer is 6. Contestants. Oh man, this has been a rough go of it for a minute here. All right, masterminds. Ryan! This is the Ryan Chafee Show tonight.
I was a different solar system at that time, and the Earth has been slowing down and formed tidal lock with the moon, and now we have the 24-hour day, as well as the moon in the same period, because you always see the one side of the moon at all times.
Thank you, Ryan. The last subject is corporations. What brand owns the domain name fruit.com? Chiquita, Fruit of the Loom, or Apple? All right, the correct answer is Fruit of the Loom. Come on, challengers. Yeah, that's what I need to see. Some green over there. Billy and Tony, 100 points apiece. Well done. Masterminds. Oh, all right. Beastie for 100 points.
Hang on. I got the fashion question right.
Underwear fashion, but yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for round one. We've got Chris in the lead with 300 points over here. Well done. And Ryan in the lead with 600 points for our masterminds. When we return, the points get higher and the questions get more difficult as we get closer to determining who will play for $10,000. More masterminds after this. Welcome back to Masterminds. In this round, the first challenger and first mastermind to buzz in will get the chance to answer and build their score. There are 5 subjects, and correct answers are now worth 200 points. But wrong answers will also cost you 200 points. At the end of this round, the challenger and the mastermind with the lowest scores will be eliminated. Let's play. The first subject is composers. Gustav Holst famously wrote a 7-part musical suite about what scientific group? Muffy and Billy are the first to buzz in. All right, Billy, what's your answer?
The planets.
Planets. Muffy, what did you say?
The planets.
The planets as well. For 200 points is the correct answer. The planets? Absolutely. Well done, Billy. 200 points added to your score. And 200 for you as well, Muffy.
It dates from the early 20th century, and there are, there's a Mercury piece, there's a Jupiter piece. It's probably one you've heard that it's sort of boom, 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 very sort of bombastic.
It must sound out of this world. The next subject is sweets. You can visit what Vermont ice cream company's flavor graveyard featuring discontinued flavors like Holy Cannoli? Muffy and Chris are the first to buzz in. All right. Chris, what's your answer?
Ben & Jerry.
Ben & Jerry's. Muffy?
Ben & Jerry's.
Ben & Jerry's. The correct answer for 200 points is indeed Ben & Jerry's. 200 points added to your score. Well done, Chris. And 200 for you as well, Muffy. Are you a Ben & Jerry's fan?
I am. I still weep for Rainforest Crunch.
Oh, that's in the graveyard? You need a minute? Got you. The next subject is travel. Iga province is the birthplace of the black-clad Japanese assassins known as what? Muffy and Billy. Wow, Muffy's on fire over there with that hand. All right, Billy, what's your answer?
Ninjas.
Ninjas. Muffy, what's your answer?
Ninjas.
Ninjas as well. For 200 points is the correct answer. Ninjas. Yes, it is. Well done, Billy. 200 points added to your score. And Muffy, again, 200 points added to yours. The next subject is collegiate sports. In 2022, what two California universities were accepted as the newest members of the Big Ten Conference? Billy and Muffy are the first to buzz in. All right, Billy.
USC and UCLA.
USC and UCLA. Muffy?
I also said USC and UCLA.
All right, for 200 points, are they correct? Oh yeah, UCLA and USC. 200 points added to your score. Billy, you're on a roll over there. Muffy, you as well. 200 points added to your score. I thought you weren't a football fan.
Well, I
You
know
read the news.
colleges. Most of the Big Ten schools are actually on the East Coast, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for them to travel to games.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Muffy. All right, it's time for the final question of this round. This question is worth 400 points. This will determine who will be moving on to the next round. Here is your final subject. The subject is movies. The feature film The Many Saints of Newark was a prequel to what HBO crime drama? Beastie and Chris are the first to buzz in. Chris, what's your answer?
The Sopranos.
The Sopranos. Beastie, what did you say?
Blind guess, Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire. The correct answer for 400 points is Chris. Well done, The Sopranos. That's 400 points added to your score, which means that you and Billy will be moving on to the next round. Tony, thank you so much for being here. And for our masterminds, Beastie, I'm so sorry. We have to take 400 points off your score. That means that Muffy and Ryan will be moving on to the next round.
Good game.
When we come back, it's Challenger versus Challenger and Mastermind versus Mastermind to determine who will compete in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. More Masterminds right after this. Welcome back to Masterminds. It all comes down to this. Which challenger will face the top mastermind for $10,000? We're about to find out. But first, let's get to know them better. Billy, as a Halloween fanatic, what Halloween costume are you most known for?
Probably the best one I'm known for is the one that my body is most suited for, which is Jack Skellington. As you'll see, I'm very tall and thin, and being bald right now also helps the skeleton look, so I would say that's the one. I bought a new suit recently for it. I got new gloves with like skeleton fingers.
Nice. I'm a big fan of Halloween as well.
Yeah. In my household, the Halloween season starts July 5th.
Okay.
And then I got the 12-foot skeleton and everything, of course.
love it.
And he needs some friends. I need to get him some friends.
Welcome to the show and good luck. Chris, tell me about your sidekick.
Okay, well, his name is Bucky, short for Buckingham. He's a corgi. I got that name because I was watching episodes of The Crown and I fell in love with the corgis.
Aww. And this is your first corgi?
My first corgi and will not be my last.
Aw, so sweet. All right, well, welcome to the show. Good luck to you both, gentlemen. In this round, first the challengers and then the masterminds will face off in a timed trivia battle. The first question will be worth 500 points, and each question that follows will be worth an additional 100 points. It's anyone's game. Challengers, are you ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Great, let's go ahead and put 60 seconds on the clock. Your time will begin when I finish reading the first question. Good luck. 500 points, the commercial jingle and slogan for what cereal refers to it as magically delicious? Chris.
Lucky Charms.
Correct. 600 points. Using the standard touch typing method on a QWERTY keyboard, which hand typically is used to type the letter V? Billy.
Right.
No. Chris?
Left.
Correct. 700 points. Before famously refusing to give up her bus seat, who worked as an investigator for the NAACP in the 1940s? Billy.
Rosa Parks.
Correct. 800 points. In the Ray Bradbury book, The Illustrated Man, what is the title character used to tell stories and see the future? Billy.
His tattoos.
Correct. 900 points. Research shows that IQ levels rise in areas where people eat salt that has what element added to it? Chris.
Iodine.
Correct. 1,000 points. Trimmed appliques are placed on a surface and covered in lacquer in what French named art form, meaning to cut out? Chris.
Paper mache.
No. Billy?
Don't know.
Decoupage. 1,100 points. In 1999, what became Canada's third and northernmost territory? Chris.
The Yukon.
No. Billy?
Labrador.
Nunavut. Oh, so close. All right, well done, Chris. You just won $1,000. Sorry about that, Billy. We'll see you next time. It was wonderful to have you here. Now, Chris, we just have to determine which mastermind you will be facing. All right, guys, you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna win this one for Bucky the Corgi.
I like that. All right, same rules apply. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time will begin when I finish reading the first question. Here we go. 500 points. In 193 AD, what empire was auctioned off by the Praetorian Guards to a wealthy senator? Ryan.
The Roman Empire.
Correct. 600 points. How many laps around the 2.5-mile track are needed to complete the Indianapolis 500? Ryan.
200.
Correct. 700 points. Chinese villagers used dinosaur bones in traditional medicine, believing they were from what mythical monsters? Ryan.
Dragons.
Correct. 800 points. Nicknamed the ocean's hot dog, what food item was introduced by the Gorton Company in the 50s? Muffy.
Fish stick?
Correct. 900 points. In the early 1800s, author Washington Irving gave New York City what one-word nickname? Muffy.
Knickerbocker?
No, Ryan.
Gotham.
Correct. 1,000 points. As children mature, which of their primary teeth are typically the last to fall out? Muffy.
Molars?
Correct. 1,100 points. What humorous awards honor those who accidentally remove themselves from the human genome? Ryan.
Darwin Awards.
Correct. 1,200 points. George Knightley is the eventual husband of what Jane Austen character? Muffy.
Emma.
Correct. 1,300 points. What is the nickname of the Federal National Mortgage Association? Ryan.
Fannie Mae.
Correct. 1,400 points. Before President Eisenhower changed it, what November holiday was originally known as Armistice Day? I'm trying to get it out for you. Veterans Day. Woo! Well done. Smoke coming off of both of you over here. Ryan, you won this round. Congratulations. Muffy, we'll see you next time.
That was for Bucky.
That's right. That means that Chris and Ryan will be going head-to-head in our ultimate trivia showdown. Can Chris win $10,000 and take one step closer to becoming a mastermind? Find out when we come back. Welcome back to Masterminds. Chris has won $1,000 and will now face Ryan Chafee in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. Here's how we play. I'll read 4 questions to Chris and Ryan, and they will each write down their answers. Once the players have locked in their responses, I'll reveal the correct answers. If Chris gets the higher score, then he will win $10,000. And that's what we're looking for, right, Chris?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. Let's begin. Here's your first question. Nicknamed the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, Waimea Canyon is located on what Hawaiian island? Chris, you answered with?
Oahu.
Oahu. Ryan, what did you answer with?
Said Maui.
Maui. The correct answer is Kauai.
Wow.
All right, score remains 0-0. Here's your second question. In the Old Testament, Ruth remains with and cares for her mother-in-law, known as whom? All right, Chris, what did you say?
I said Esther.
Esther. Ryan, how about you?
I said Deborah.
Deborah. The correct answer is Naomi. All right, tough questions here. Score remains 0-0. Here's your third question. In 1930, what company cooperative was established in South Hanson, Massachusetts by 3 fruit growers? Chris, what's your answer?
I said Dole.
Dole. Ryan
I also said Dole.
also said Dole. The correct answer is Ocean Spray.
Oh, the cranberries.
Curses to the cranberries. Okay, listen, the score is still 0-0. Chris, you've got a chance. If you answer the next question correctly and Ryan misses it, you'll be going home with $10,000. Fingers crossed. Good luck, sir. And here is your final question. Yale's secret society, Skull and Bones, was sued for the return of the skull and bones of what famous Apache chief? Chris.
I said Squanto.
Squanto. Ryan.
I said Geronimo.
Geronimo. For $10,000, the correct answer is... Geronimo! Right down to the wire there. Still, Chris, you won $1,000. You played a great game. Thanks for coming on the show. Ryan, nice work. Join us next time to see who can outsmart the best players in the world right here on Masterminds.
Do you have what it takes to defeat Mark the Beast Labette and his fellow trivia geniuses? Find out tonight on Masterminds. And here's your host, Brooke Burns.
Hello and welcome to Masterminds, a game of trivia, smarts, and strategy. Let's meet our challengers. This thrill-seeking history tutor graduated magna cum laude and is into British murder mysteries. Say hello to Samara. He's a Berkeley graduate who loves to collect bobbleheads from Shanghai, China. Please welcome Jing. And he's a professor of graphic design who speaks 4 languages from Roslyn, New York. Please welcome Andrew. Welcome to the show, everyone. Are you ready to meet the Masterminds?
Yes, absolutely.
As a United States chess expert, he is always 3 steps ahead. Today, he's looking to make his move into the winner's circle. It's Jonathan Corbla. She has 2 degrees from Brown and won countless trivia competitions, and she's written a Lifetime movie. It's Muffy Morocco. If you want to know how he got his nickname, just ask the hundreds of contestants he's destroyed on The Chase. It's my buddy, Mark the Beast Labette. Welcome, Masterminds. Here's how we play. I'll ask you a series of trivia questions over 3 rounds of escalating difficulty. At the end of the game, the highest scoring challenger will face the highest scoring mastermind in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. If a challenger wins, they'll come back to compete again. And if a challenger wins 2 times, then they will be crowned a mastermind and potentially take the place of one of our masterminds on this stage. In round 1, there are 7 subjects, each with a corresponding question. All challengers and masterminds will play. Correct answers are worth 100 points. Good luck. The first subject is athletics. What sport was described in England almost a century before Abner Doubleday was credited with inventing it? Baseball, basketball, or ice hockey? And the correct answer is baseball. Challengers, how'd we do? All right, 100 points across the board. Well done. Masterminds, same for you.
The date that Doubleday is given for baseball is around 1839, and there's even a picture during the Civil War of Union soldiers playing baseball.
Actually, something like it is mentioned in a Jane Austen novel, which predates that. So it's derived from cricket, so it kind of makes sense.
Well, the world's first cricket international was between USA and Canada in the 1820s.
1820s. Wow. Thank you, Masterminds. The next subject is travel. Complete with daily jousts and dancing barrel makers, Munich's Rathaus Glockenspiel is a type of what? Puppet theater, beer hall, or mechanical clock? And the correct answer is mechanical clock. Challengers, how about this one? All right, well done, Samara and Jing, 100 points apiece. Masterminds, 100 points across the board.
So this clock is over 100 years old. It has a lot of little figurines that reenact scenes from Munich's history.
Well done, Muffy. The next subject is, which came first? Which came first, signed, sealed, or delivered? Sign of the Times by Prince, Great Seal of the USA, or UPS? Correct answer is Great Seal of the USA. Challengers? There we go for the gentlemen. Jing and Andrew, 100 points apiece. Masterminds? Okay, Muffy and Jonathan, 100 points.
Sign of the Times is an 80s song by Prince, and UPS is about 100 years before that. And then the Great Seal of the United States basically dates back to the founding of the United States.
Tell us more about it. I know you're our history buff.
Well, the Great Seal has, it's the eagle, and he's got the banner in his mouth, and he's got an olive branch in one claw, and a fasces, which is a bundle of sticks, which symbolizes not only war, but also strength together.
Thank you, Muffy. The next subject is music. Typically, which member of the saxophone family has a straight shape? Alto, baritone, or soprano? The correct answer is Soprano. Challengers, how'd we do? Okay, well done. Samara and Andrew knew it for 100 points. Masterminds, Muffy for 100 points.
So just like the tones of voice, the soprano is the highest, so it's just got a straight sort of tube, whereas the others have that bend that looks like a saxophone to give it that jazzy, deeper sound.
Well done, Muffy. The next subject is celebrations. According to tradition, in France, what flies in from Rome to bring chocolates to children on Easter Sunday? Dove, church bell, or biplane? And the correct answer is church bell. Challengers, how do we do on this one? You got a lot of shaking heads. Okay, no points. Doesn't sound like that would be the right answer, does it? Masterminds, did you know this? Jonathan for 100 points. Well done. Explain.
So bells aren't rung in France in that weekend between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. And the parents tell the little kids that the bells have flown off to Rome to be blessed by the Pope. And on Easter Sunday, when the bells are rung, they say, oh, they've come back. And, to make the kids excited, they get chocolate.
Thank you, Jonathan. The next subject is politics. Which country elected the world's first female prime minister? Sri Lanka, United Kingdom, or Israel? And the correct answer is Sri Lanka. Challengers?
Yikes.
No points on that one either. Okay. Masterminds, how about you? 100 points across the board.
Mrs. Bandaranaike in 1960, when it was still Ceylon, the world's first female prime minister. Golda Meir, I think, was in the 1970s for Israel. And the Blessed Margaret Thatcher on the 3rd or 4th of May 1979, when she's become the longest modern reigning British prime minister.
Wow. All right. Thank you for that little history lesson there. The last subject is entertainment. In video games, which item of clothing helps distinguish Ms. Pac-Man from her male counterpart? Bow, gloves, or shoes? The correct answer is her bow. Challengers? All these video game players, yeah, for sure. There we go, 100 points across the board. Masterminds, and 100 points for you as well.
And Miss Pac-Man's the real fun one. I think the ghosts are what? Inky, Blinky,
Pinky and
Pinky,
Clyde.
Inky, Blinky,
And Clyde.
and Clyde.
Bravo, bravo. That's it for round one. On our challengers side, we've got, wow, a three-way tie with 400 points apiece. Okay, fair game. And for our masterminds, Jonathan and Muffy in the lead with 600 points. When we return, the points get higher and the questions get more difficult as we get closer to determining who will play for $10,000. It's more masterminds after this. Welcome back to Masterminds. In this round, both the challengers and the masterminds will write in their answers for a chance to build their score. There are 5 subjects, and correct answers are now worth 200 points. At the end of this round, the challenger and the mastermind with the lowest scores will be eliminated. Let's play. The first subject is drinks. Once called the Red Snapper, what tomato juice and vodka cocktail now shares its name with an English queen? The correct answer is Bloody Mary. Challengers? All right, everybody had a cocktail once in a while. 200 points apiece, well done. Masterminds, 200 points for you as well.
Mary was both Queen of England and Queen of Spain because she was married to Philip of Spain. And perhaps fortunately for England, which it was at the time, she never had children, so it passed to good Queen Bess in 1558.
Oh, very interesting. The next subject is furniture. Woodworker William Brower is credited with designing a sofa bed frame for what Japanese bedroll? And the correct answer is futon. Challengers? There we go, 200 points across the board. Masterminds? 200 points for Beastie and Muffy.
So typically in Japan, the mattress is just laid directly on the floor and rolled up during the day. But in college rooms across America, futons are put on a wooden frame.
Why do the Japanese prefer to sleep on the floor? It just feels hard.
It's very good for you.
Yeah, for your back?
Yeah. I would still be doing it, except it's impossible for me to get up from
That's
the
what I was
futon
going to
at the
say.
moment.
Thank you. The next subject is geography. On which continent are 20% of the people descended from prisoners because it was once a penal colony? And the correct answer is Australia. Challengers, how'd we do? Yeah, I love it. 200 points across the board. Masterminds, 200 points across the board.
The only country in the world in which you're proud to have a convict ancestor. However, don't mention that to either New Zealand or South Australia, because both of them were free colonies, so they weren't penal colonies, and they're inordinately proud of not being
Part of
like the
that.
commoners.
Yeah, thank you for that. The next subject is literature. A bandaged scientist named Griffin is the title character in what H.G. Wells novel? And the correct answer is The Invisible Man. Challengers? All right, well done. Samara's like, I got it, 200 points. Congratulations, masterminds. 200 points across the board.
So he wears the bandages so people will actually see him and just stop bumping into him.
All right, it's time for the final question of this round. This question is worth 400 points. This will determine who will be moving on to the next round. Here is your final subject. The subject is people. Mae Jemison, an engineer and physician, was the first African-American woman to hold what job? And the correct answer is astronaut. Challengers, how'd we do?
Yeah.
All right, Samara and Andrew both got that one right. We're adding 400 points to your score. That means that the two of you will be moving on to the next round. Congratulations. Jing, thank you so much for being here. And for our masterminds, how'd you do? All right, Muffy and Jonathan, 400 points apiece, and you're both moving on as well. Beastie, we'll see you next time. When we come back, it's Challenger versus Challenger and Mastermind versus Mastermind to determine who will compete in the Ultimate Trivia Showdown for $10,000. More Masterminds after this. Welcome back to Masterminds. It all comes down to this. Which challenger will face the top mastermind for $10,000? We're about to find out. But first, let's get to know them better. Samara, tell me about your thrill-seeking ways.
Yeah, well, I'm the daughter of a fighter pilot, so I think that the adrenaline junkie thing is maybe a little bit in my DNA.
Genetic.
Nurture or nature, I don't know.
Who knows?
But I like to hang glide, scuba dive. I love to urban explore, sneak in anywhere I'm not supposed to be. And one of my goals is to dive the Great Barrier Reef before it disappears.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. What about diving with sharks while you're down there?
I would absolutely love to cage dive with some great whites.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
A bucket of blood and some sharks. It sounds like a great Friday.
Can't wait to have that bucket of chum.
Yeah. Oh, the smell will be...
I actually got to do it, but not with the great whites, with the Galapagos sharks in Hawaii, and it was definitely a worthwhile experience.
Awesome.
Have a little bit of that same drive in me.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Definitely.
Well, welcome to the show. Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much.
Andrew, tell me about all the languages that you speak.
I speak French, Spanish, Italian, and a little English.
Lucky you, a little English.
I've traveled a lot in my life, and I'm like a sponge. I take in a lot of languages. I studied French and Spanish when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I never studied Italian, but I lived there, and so it just came to me.
You have
It's
an
a
ear
great-
for it.
It's a great language.
That's a gift.
Thank you.
Any other languages that you're interested in adding?
Well, I've been to China a number of times, and I'd love to be able to speak it, but it's
Tough.
almost impossible.
Really tough.
It's tonal, so it's very difficult.
Yeah,
but,
very different.
yeah.
All right, well, welcome to the show.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you
Thank
both. In this round, first the challengers and then the masterminds will face off in a timed trivia battle. The first question will be worth 500 points, and each question that follows will be worth an additional 100 points. It's anyone's game. Challengers, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock, please. Your time will begin when I finish reading the first question. Good luck. 500 points. What day of the week is named for a god of thunder? Andrew.
Thursday.
Correct. 600 points. 80% of Hong Kong residents use toilets that are refilled by water from what renewable source? Samara.
River.
No. Andrew.
China Sea.
No. Ocean. 700 points. What puffy purple mascot advertises Happy Meals with Ronald McDonald? Samara.
Grimace.
Correct. 800 points. Also meaning encircle, what women's undergarment typically extends from the waist to below the hips? Samara.
Spandex.
No. Andrew.
Girdle.
Correct. 900 points. Event names Rumble in the Jungle and Thrilla in Manila were coined by what flamboyant boxing promoter? Andrew.
Don King.
Correct. 1,000 points. Starting with Martin Van Buren, what state has had 4 of its governors go on to serve as U.S. president? Andrew.
New York.
Correct. 1,100 points. What Western wear clothing company makes the official jeans of the Pro Rodeo Cowboys Association? Samara.
Levi.
Nope. Andrew.
Wrangler.
Correct. 1,200 points in The Great Gatsby. And time! Wow, well done, Andrew. You just won $1,000.
right.
And not only that, but the chance to play for $10,000. Samara, it was lovely to have you here. I still hope you make it to the Great Barrier Reef.
Thank you very much.
Now we just have to determine which mastermind you'll be facing. All right, masterminds, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Same rules apply. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when I finish reading the first question. 500 points. On Bewitched, Elizabeth Montgomery played a suburban witch who cast spells by twitching her what? Jonathan.
Nose.
Correct. 600 points. With a population of over 200 million people, Brazil's official language is what? Jonathan.
Portuguese.
Correct. 700 points. What term is given to the hooded robe worn by monks or the hood itself? Jonathan.
Capuchin.
No. Muffy?
Habit?
Cowl. 800 points. In 1816, Rufus King became the last candidate to run for president on what party's ticket? Jonathan.
Federalist.
Correct. 900 points. Coca-Cola introduced what green citrus-flavored soda in the 90s to compete with Mountain Dew? Muffy.
Sprite?
No. Jonathan.
7-Up.
Surge. 1,000 points. Which theater of the absurd playwright wrote Rhinoceros? Jonathan.
Eugene Ionesco.
Correct. 1,100 points. Originally selling soap and candles in 1806, what company didn't start offering toothpaste until 1873? Jonathan.
Tom's of Maine.
No. Muffy. Colgate. Correct. 1,200 points. What New York museum was founded in 1929 by 3 women, Lily Bliss, Mary Sullivan, and Abby Rockefeller? Muffy.
MoMA.
Correct. 1,300 points. And time! No, you guys were so close. But Jonathan, you're tonight's top mastermind. Congratulations, Muffy. We know we'll see you soon. That means that Andrew and Jonathan will be going head-to-head in our ultimate trivia showdown. Can Andrew win $10,000 and take one step closer to becoming a mastermind? Find out when we come back. Well done. Welcome back to Masterminds. Andrew has won $1,000 and will now face Jonathan Corblaw in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. Here's how we play. I'll read 4 questions to Andrew and Jonathan, and they'll each write down their answers. Once the players have locked in their responses, I'll reveal the correct answers. If Andrew gets the highest score, then he will win $10,000. And if you do win the money, what are you going to do with it, Andrew?
I would like to take a sailing trip from Argentina to Antarctica. I would
Wow.
like to see what Antarctica is all about.
And do it by sailing.
Yeah, I'd like to do it by sailing. I sail,
Beautiful.
so.
Hopefully we can get you $10,000 to
I
make
hope
that
so.
happen. Good luck. It's now time to find out if Andrew will win $10,000. Let's begin. Here's your first question. What girl's deodorant is mentioned in the title of a classic Nirvana song? Andrew, you said
Teen Spirit.
Teen Spirit. Jonathan, you
Smells
said
like Teen Spirit.
Teen Spirit as well. The correct answer is Teen Spirit. Nice start, and it's 1-1. Here's your second question. In which U.S. state are local subdivisions known as parishes instead of counties? Andrew, what's your answer?
I said Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Jonathan, what did you say?
I said Louisiana.
Louisiana. The correct answer is Louisiana. Okay, so it's 1-2. Here's your third question. In Arthurian legend, what enchantress is often depicted as King Arthur's sister? Okay, Andrew, you said
Morgana.
Morgana. Jonathan, what did you say?
Guinevere.
Guinevere. The correct answer is Morgana. Woo! Tying up the score. Andrew, I love this. And it's 2-2, and there's only one final question left, which means if you get it right and Jonathan does not, you win $10,000. Fingers crossed. Good luck, sir. Here we go. Here's your final question. For decades, villagers in Vanuatu have worshipped as a deity what late member of Britain's current royal family? Andrew, you said?
Philip.
Philip. Jonathan, you said?
George VI?
George VI. If Philip is correct, you just won $10,000. For $10,000, is Philip the answer? Yes, it is! Well done, Andrew! Congratulations, $10,000 is yours. You just beat Jonathan in the final round. Looks like you're going for a sail.
I think I'm going sail.
We can't wait to have you back on the next show. Join us next time when Andrew attempts to win another $10,000 and takes one step closer to becoming a mastermind himself. See us next time right here on Masterminds. Good night. Woo! Bravo!
Do you have what it takes to defeat Mark the Beast Labette and his fellow trivia geniuses? Find out tonight on Masterminds. And here's your host, Brooke Burns.
Hello and welcome to Masterminds, a game of trivia, smarts, and strategy. Let's meet our challengers. He loves to juggle and sells his own homemade peanut butters. Give it up for Alan. She's a law school student who loves to play music and read. Please welcome Lillian to the show. And he's a theater director that performed in a professional musical with his daughter. Please welcome Paul Dean. So fun. Welcome, everyone. Are you ready to meet the Masterminds?
Yes.
Let's do it. He's a Yale-educated tutor who's ready to take out any challengers who dare to enter the Church of Chafee. It's Ryan Chafee. She's a Jeopardy champion who Alex Trebek dubbed the Trivia Buzzsaw. Welcome, Lakedra Pam. And you know him as one of the world's most formidable trivia masters from The Chase. It's Mark the Beast Labette. Are you doing, Masterminds? Are you ready to take on these competitors?
Yeah, they're about to have a real bad day.
Okay. Here's how we play. I'll ask you a series of trivia questions over 3 rounds of escalating difficulty. At the end of the game, the highest scoring challenger will face the highest scoring mastermind in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. If a challenger wins, they'll come back to compete again. And if a challenger wins 2 times, they will be crowned a mastermind and potentially take the place of one of our masterminds on this stage. In round 1, there are 7 subjects, each with a corresponding question. All challengers and masterminds will play. Correct answers are worth 100 points. Good luck, everyone. And the first subject is the arts. Tap dancing evolved from a fusion of West African step dances and what Irish type of dance? Ceilidh, two-hand, or jig? The correct answer is jig. How'd we do, challengers? All right, well done for Lillian and Paul Dean, 100 points apiece. Masterminds, 100 points across the board.
Yeah, we now know the tap shoes is having metal on the bottom, but Mr. Bojangles, one of the legends of tap dancing, actually used wood on the soles of his shoes to make that characteristic sound.
Oh, that's interesting. Thank you, Ryan. The next subject is studios. The SKG in the DreamWorks SKG studio name stands for co-founders Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and who? David Geffen, Whoopi Goldberg, or Matt Groening? And the correct answer is David Geffen. Challengers, how about this one? There we go, the big 3. 100 points across the board. Well done, Masterminds. Same for you.
So SKG's biggest box office hit was actually Shrek 2, which made over $900 million at the box office.
I think they've done okay out of their initial investment.
The Beast is basically Shrek 3.
We just got to paint him green. That's a lot of paint.
Yeah, I guess my next project on the London stage.
Thank you, Masterminds. The next subject is instruments. What company has been making its famous cymbals since 1623? Zildjian, Yamaha, or Ludwig? And the correct answer is Zildjian. How'd we do, challengers? All right, well done, Lillian, 100 points. Masterminds, did we know this? Okay, Lakidra and Ryan, 100 points apiece.
As a former rocker, I know of cymbals, and the Zildjian family, has been making cymbals for 400 years, and they have a special recipe for the alloy they use in their cymbals.
Really?
I believe they actually were like court musicians in the Ottoman Empire. And so that's how they kind of got their start.
Very cool. Thank you, Masterminds. The next subject is medicine. Still used by dentists as a sedative during oral surgery, laughing gas was invented by what British chemist? Joseph Priestley, Michael Faraday, or Henry Cavendish? And the correct answer is Joseph Priestley. Challengers. Okay, well done, Alan, for 100 points. Masterminds, 100 points across the board.
Yeah, I wasn't certain because Priestley's more like the 1780s, 90s, so that's when he was active. And I think the early use of anesthetics was like early 19th century, but he seemed the percentage one. Faraday was more into electromagnetism.
Thank you, Beastie. The next subject is houses. The Hogan is a traditional residence of which Native American people? The Seminole, the Crow, or the Navajo? And the correct answer is the Navajo. Challengers, how'd we do? Okay, well done, Alan, for 100 points. Masterminds, 100 points across the board.
So Hogan's are a dome-shaped building with a log or a stone framework.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lakidra. The next subject is paleontology. Due to the lack of evolution from its ancestors and a unique taxonomy, which animal is considered a living fossil? The dung beetle, aardvark, or great white shark? The correct answer is aardvark. Challengers, how about this one? Tough question. Okay, no points for them. Masterminds? All right, well done, Beastie. And the last subject is food. Author Michael Pollan states that more than 25% of all supermarket items are produced with what vegetable? Lettuce, potato, or corn? And the correct answer is corn. Challengers, how'd we do? Yeah, Alan and Lillian, 100 points apiece. Congrats. Masterminds. Ooh, Ryan, 100 points.
You really have to work to avoid high fructose corn syrup at the supermarket because it's in everything.
Thank you, Ryan. That's it for round one. On our challengers side, we have a tie between Alan and Lillian with 400 points apiece for the lead. And Ryan, you're in the lead for our masterminds. Well done with 600 points. When we return, the points get higher and the questions get more difficult as we get closer to determining who will play for $10,000. It's more masterminds after this. Masterminds. In this round, both the challengers and the masterminds will write in their answers for a chance to build their score. There are 5 subjects now, and correct answers are worth 200 points. At the end of this round, the challenger and the mastermind with the lowest scores will be eliminated. Let's play. The first subject is the calendar. You only have a 1 in 1,461 chance of being born on what date? And the correct answer is February 29th. How'd we do, challengers? Yes, okay, Alan and Lillian, 200 points apiece. Well done, masterminds. 200 points across the board. Do you guys know anybody born on leap day?
No, but obviously it's 4 times 365 plus 1, so 1,461. I know under the English common law, you're regarded as being born on March the 1st for the other years.
There's Beastie showing off his math skills, because you were a math substitute teacher for a while, yes?
Yeah, well, I've got a master's degree from Oxford. I came 6th in the World Mental Calculations Championships in 2003, so I joke I'm okay at general knowledge. I'm good with numbers.
Thank you, Beastie. The next subject is tech. With over 2 billion global users, what is the most widely used messaging app? And the correct answer is WhatsApp. How'd we do, challengers? Yes, okay, Alan and Lillian, 200 points apiece again. Masterminds? Ooh, Beastie and Ryan, 200 points apiece.
Yeah, this isn't as big in the United States as it is worldwide, but I work with a lot of international students and they all use WhatsApp. It's like over 150 countries use it.
All right, thank you, Ryan. The next subject is bestsellers. A woman makes a life bargain and is cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets in The Invisible Life of whom? And the correct answer is Addie LaRue. Challengers, how about this one? Did we know it? Okay, no points on that one. Tough question. Masterminds? Ooh, none for you as well. Pretty obscure, I'm guessing.
It was based on the life of Brooke Burns.
Oh, get him out of here.
See?
Gone too far.
The big brother I never wanted.
I guess the cocktails are on me at the weekend.
They better be. All right, the next subject is brands. What kid-friendly company was founded by the Hassenfeld brothers? The correct answer is Hasbro. Challengers, how'd we do? Okay, for the gentlemen, Alan and Paul Dean, 200 points apiece. Masterminds, 200 points across the board.
You could work it out. Hassenfeld brothers, Hasbro.
Very cool. Thank you, Lakedra. It's time for the final question of this round. This question is worth 400 points. This will determine who will be moving on to the next round. Here is your final subject. The subject is South America. The only landlocked nations in South America are Bolivia and what other country? And for 400 points, the correct answer is Paraguay. How'd we do on this one? Challengers, okay, Alan got it right for 400 points. That means it will be Alan and Lillian moving on to the next round. Well done. Paul Dean, so nice to have you. Masterminds, how'd we do on this side? Okay, 400 points all across the board. That means it's gonna be Ryan and Beastie moving on, and Lakedra, we'll see you next time. When we come back, it's Challenger versus Challenger and Mastermind versus Mastermind to determine who will compete in the ultimate trivia showdown for $10,000. More Masterminds after this. Welcome back to Masterminds. It all comes down to this. Which challenger will face the top mastermind for $10,000? We're about to find out. But first, let's get to know them a little better. Alan, tell me about your peanut butter business. This sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 5 years. I started just by making it for myself and fell in love with the process, especially when I realized I could make kind of crazy flavors. Like I do a spicy peanut butter and then cinnamon and chocolate, which
Yum.
some people thought was weird until they tried it and then they fell in love with it too.
I think it sounds amazing.
I do too.
So are you selling it?
I sell it at farmers markets and I sell online. And then as soon as I started selling it, I realized a lot of people can't have peanuts, so branched out into cashew butter, almond butter, hazelnut butter. So I got something for everybody.
Very interesting kind of hobby turned side hustle.
Yeah, now it's my full-time gig.
Very cool. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And good luck. Lillian, tell me about pursuing law. Is that something that you've always known you wanted to do?
I actually originally wanted to be an orchestra musician. I play viola. And so I realized, though, that I had other skills and other things that I wanted to do. And so I found that law was going to be a really great fit for those skills. And so I am through my first year of law school and really enjoying it so far.
Wow, very cool. And you just discovered that while you were in college?
I discovered it actually while working. I worked for a few different nonprofits, and after a few years, decided to go to law school.
I love that, how you can kind of find that new thing that you said, I have got these skill sets and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
All right, well, congrats on that.
Thank
and
you.
welcome to the show. Good luck.
Thank you.
In this round, first the challengers and then the masterminds will face off in a timed trivia battle. The first question will be worth 500 points, and each question that follows will be worth an additional 100 points. It's anyone's game. Challengers, are you ready?
Yes,
Ready?
let's do it.
Great. Let's go ahead and put 60 seconds on the clock, please. And your time will begin when I finish reading the first question. Good luck. 500 points. In the late 40s, the Topps Company began selling their bubblegum with what collectible items? Alan.
Baseball cards.
Correct. 600 points. Basque Country straddles the border of Spain and which other country? Alan.
France.
Correct. 700 points. By wearing wigs on their shaved heads, ancient Egyptians avoided the incidence of what parasites? Lillian.
Lice.
Correct. 800 points. Season 2 of The Mandalorian revealed the actual name of the so-called Baby Yoda was what? Grogu. 900 points. The root in root beer was traditionally provided by the sarsaparilla vine and the bark of what tree? Alan?
Sassafras.
Correct. 1,000 points. Who wrote the whimsical poems heard in the musical Cats? Alan?
T.S. Eliot.
Correct. 1,100 points. Who was the first African-American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff as well as Secretary of State? Alan?
Colin Powell.
Correct. 1,200 points. Of the 8 most common blood types recognized by the Red Cross, which is the rarest in the U.S.? Lillian?
O negative.
No. Alan?
AB negative.
Correct. 1,300 points. What hero of Greek myth slayed Medusa and saved Andromeda from a sea monster? Time! Wow, well done, Alan. You just won $1,000. And not only that, but the chance to play for $10,000. Very quick there. Lillian, thank you so much for being here. We're happy to have you. Now we just have to determine which mastermind you'll be facing. Ooh, all right. How you guys doing over here? He was going pretty quick over there.
That was nuts.
Making you a little bit nervous. I like that. Yep. All right, you know how it works? 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when I finish reading the first question. 500 points. Greenland uses what Danish currency? Ryan.
Kroner.
Correct. 600 points. A minor hit in 1985, the Kate Bush song Running Up That Hill had a resurgence in 2022 upon being featured on what series? Beast.
Stranger Things.
Correct. 700 points. In Matthew 27, who presided at the trial of Jesus? Ryan.
Pontius Pilate.
Correct. 800 points. Created in the 19th century, what now sleeveless women's undergarment shirt was used to hide corsets? Beast.
Chiton?
No. Ryan?
Russell.
No. Camisole. 900 points. Louis Pasteur expanded the use of what century-old term beyond its original association with the cowpox virus? Beast.
Vaccination.
Correct. 1,000 points. Carla Bruni was the first lady of France as wife to what president? Beast.
Sarkozy.
Correct. 1,100 points. In the Shakespeare play, to whom does the merchant of Venice owe a pound of flesh? Ryan.
Shylock.
Correct. 1,200 points, including the one that we are currently in. There have been at least how many major ice ages in Earth's history? Beast.
4.
No. Ryan.
3.
5. 1,300 points. What vacation planning website uses a roaming no-minutes advertising? Oh, time.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, so close. Beastie, you're tonight's top mastermind. Sorry about that, Ryan. We'll see you next time. And that means that Alan and the Beast will be going head-to-head in our ultimate trivia showdown. Can Alan win $10,000 and take one step closer to becoming a mastermind? Find out when we come back. To Masterminds. Alan has won $1,000 and will now face the Beast in the Ultimate Trivia Showdown for $10,000. Here's how we play. I'll read 4 questions to Alan and the Beast, and they will each write down their answers. Once the players have locked in their responses, I'll reveal the correct answers. If Alan gets the higher score, then he will win $10,000. Alan, if you win the money, what are you going to do with it?
There's a fancy nut butter machine that I've had my eye on that's not cheap, and especially I'll need to up production if the Beast gets its hands on it.
I was just going to say, even if you don't win the $10,000, Beastie will buy $10,000 worth of peanut butter.
I can't lose.
I'm feeling strangely unmotivated this evening. I'm still going to win, though.
Ooh, let's use that against him, okay, Alan? It's now time to find out if Alan will win $10,000. Let's begin. Here's your first question. In 2022, Tom's Guide named what Rhyme app the best food delivery service overall? Alan, you said?
Grubhub.
Grubhub. Beastie.
I feel I should work for them. Grubhub.
Grubhub. And the correct answer is Grubhub. Well done. And it's 1-1. And here's your second question. An advocate for women's rights, Benazir Bhutto, served 2 terms as prime minister of what country? Alan, you answered with?
Pakistan.
Pakistan. Beastie, what did you answer with?
Pakistan.
All right, is the correct answer Pakistan? It is! Nice work, Alan, and it's 2-2. Here's your third question. In 2021, Olivia Colman and Gillian Anderson took home Emmy Jewels for their roles on what drama? Alan, you answered with?
The Crown.
The Crown. Beast, how about you?
We film at the same lot, The Crown.
The Crown is the correct answer. The Crown. Indeed it is. And the score is 3-3. Close game here. Okay, Alan, this is your final question. If you get this question right and Beastie misses it, you will win the $10,000. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here is your final question. What is the only major city in the American West to have been founded in the 20th century? Alan, what's your answer?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Beast, what did you say?
Viva Las Vegas!
Viva Las Vegas! For $10,000 is the correct answer, Phoenix. No, it's Las Vegas!
So didn't think of Las Vegas.
Curses! The way I look at it, you owe him $10,000 worth of peanut butter. Nice try, Alan. Still, you won $1,000. You played an incredible game. It was wonderful to have you here. Join us next time to see who can outsmart the best players in the world right here on Masterminds. Good night!